Hello, welcome back to Truthseekerstea. I am happy to have you here for today's Pick a Card reading, where we're looking at how your person is honestly viewing you and what's shifting. A lot of the piles actually go into how they viewed you in the past, how they're seeing you now, and what they're kind of anticipating from you, if that makes sense. So I've actually already filmed these piles because the first time I did the intro, the microphone was not on. So we're just going to redo it. It's fine. So for the extended reading, by the way, there will be an extended reading. We do ask Spirit what is most useful for you to hear about. Each extended reading actually is different for every pile. So if you do really feel like you're resonating, you may want to check it out. But for the YouTube portion, let's get into the pile selection. So for pile number 1, we have the Angelite Crystal with this is the new deck for me and I keep forgetting the name. Every time I filmed it, even though I've already filmed this, I still forget the name. The Heart in the Hands Tarot. For pile number 2, we have the Malachite Heart with the Way of the Panda Tarot. For pile number 3, we have the green calcite. I don't know why it's not green calcite. Why am I forgetting this? It's green fluorite crystal. And the Dreamy Moons tarot deck. So go ahead and take whatever time you need to tune into these piles and figure out which one you're just feeling the most called to. There definitely could be some overlap in these piles, or you may find that you resonate with multiple. That's totally fine. But yeah, I think that's all I have. I'll have the timestamps linked down below as always, and then the extended readings underneath if you're interested. But without further ado, let's get into your piles. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Angelite Crystal and the Heart in the Hands Tarot, this is going to be your reading where we're looking into how your person is currently viewing you. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you're seeing it is when you are meant to see it. There will be an extended reading where we will be asking Spirit whatever is most useful to go further into. It could end up being more of a guidance reading or something else pertaining to this person that you're asking about. So we're going to leave it open to Spirit. But for now, I did pre-pull some oracle cards asking how your person is viewing you. So we got the Destroyer, the Sun's Splendor, and the androgyny. Androgenone. I don't know how to say this. The androgyny. Yes. I always read it as androgenone in my mind, but it is androgen. Androgen? Androgyny. Androgyny. Yeah, so that's what I was picking up on. So right away, I'm getting some really interesting energy here. So for pile 1, I feel like you guys, you may have recently gone through Dark Night of the Soul. This person maybe has witnessed a change in you, or there's a feeling that maybe in the past when this person knew you, you may have been, I'm getting like this energy of being more self-critical, wound up a little bit tight. Maybe you had some anxiety that you were dealing with, but there's a feeling that this person felt that there was some sort of restriction on maybe the way you expressed yourself, maybe the way you received love. There's just kind of this perception that you may be limited. This person may be perceived, and by the way, this will be from their perception. So take what resonates, and this is not the cold-hearted truth. So you can kind of use this reading to see how in touch this person is with what you intuitively feel is going on with you. I think these readings are interesting to kind of gauge whether or not your person understands you, but this is what I'm picking up from their perspective. So there's a feeling that in the past they may have seen you as not being open or fully expressive or fully taking advantage of your potential. It's like this person saw a lot of potential in you, but there's a feeling that there was a lot that you had to break down in order to understand yourself and other people better. So what I'm seeing is that they see you as someone who's very much growing within their confidence within themselves, within their, not even just confidence, but self-acceptance. I'm getting that this person is sensing that you've learned how to love yourself. There's a feeling of, with the Destroyer here, of having gone through an uncomfortable time period where you questioned a lot of, you did shadow work or something. It's like this person knows that you become more self-aware, or that you have gone into a place where you've brought wisdom to what was limiting you so you could expand. And through that, there's a feeling that this person is seeing an expansion with you. Like there's a lot of energy of like yellow and um a Jupiterian energy is what I'm getting, like Sagittarius almost. It's like they almost saw you in this cocoon or in this energy. Maybe you were struggling at one point too, like they knew that you were going through something, but there's a feeling that with the sun splendor, and also at the back of the deck, I just want to show you, was lightning. And I thought this is like very on point with the energy I'm getting, because um there's this energy of like a snake going through transformation. It's like you've got, like everything happens in seasons, and there's a feeling that you've gone through the darkening phase so you could see the spring, so you could go through the lightning phase where there's more light and acceptance, and a feeling of no longer letting your shadow control you, no longer letting unconscious patterns control you. It's like this person is seeing you as a much more conscious or something like that. It's like, we'll get more information with the tarot, but there's a feeling of transformation and transcendence, ascension. It's like you may have ascended, but there's a feeling with the Andrew, I'm not even trying to say it, this card here. It's like you've really balanced your divine feminine with your divine masculine. And we also have the king at the back of the deck here. Oh, and the vessel underneath. Yeah. It's like you've upgraded your vessel. There's a feeling that with the vessel being here, the vessel card can talk about how it's almost time to look at your structures and your foundation in the way that you, even our ego can be that sometimes. It's almost like your ego has grown, or like there's a feeling that the vessel that you were in previously when you met this person could no longer hold, um, could no longer be true for you. And so with this king energy, that's where I'm getting like all this expansive, like divine masculine energy. It's almost like you've become more aware almost of the divine masculine energies, where in the past maybe it was hard for you to understand people operating more in their divine masculine. And so there could have been this feeling of being misunderstood or misunderstanding other people. But there's almost this energy of going deep within and looking at yourself and accepting yourself, and through doing that being more able to see where maybe there were misunderstandings in the past, or there was yeah, the feeling that maybe in the past there's a short-sightedness blocked by your own shadow, but you're removing that. And with the sun splendor, this also talks about divine masculine energy. It's almost like a feeling of, oh, I'm also just getting a download, like maybe your relationship with masculine energy um has been one that's been challenging throughout your life. Like maybe you've had, and this doesn't even have to be like a father wound, it could be like a mother with more masculine energy, but there's a feeling of maybe not having felt protected, or through not really trusting the masculine energy, or just not trusting it to protect you. There may have been a defensiveness or a feeling of yeah, of just mistrust with the masculine, and it's very much warranted, I feel like, based on what you've gone through. But there's a feeling that you've pushed through those wounds in order to imagine a better potential. And so this pile, I feel like, is a very spiritually strong pile. Like I'm getting spiritual warrior energy, where you've pushed through um blockages, and that was something you were meant to do. So yeah, I'm gonna get a sip of my coffee. Then we'll go into the tarot, and we'll get more specific about how exactly they're viewing you. But they're very much seeing this expansive energy and a new you. Oh, feeling like a new me. Wait, oh my God, there's a song. I'm feeling like a new me. Like, oh, I don't know the lyrics to it, but there's a song that talks about like, it talks about like a come up, or like a feeling of rejuvenation is what I'm picking up. And maybe they viewed this, we'll get more with tarot. Let's just go to the tarot now. So spirit, for pile number one's person, how are they viewing them? What do they need to know about how they're viewing them? What's most important for them to understand? And please give us the most honest truth about this. Please come through with clear messages, please. How is pile number one's person currently viewing them? Yeah, Six of Swords. Look at that. It's like this transition. They're seeing you transition through, like, look at this dark waters and the moon here. It's like there's a feeling of you having had some baggage that they knew about, or it's like you had to you had to move forward from like the Five of Swords energy, right? And so in the past, maybe you found yourself in more karmic relationships, or relationships where it felt like you versus me, like we don't understand each other, right? Like um it's more competitive, and there's an energy of like having your defenses up or something, but there's this feeling that you've decided to move forward, and you've decided to walk away from that, and they've seen you, so you've been transitioning forward in your life. You may have left certain things behind, and this person knows that. What else for pile number one style? We have the Hangman. Yeah, look at that. It's like they're seeing you in this state of surrender, where no longer are you running away or trying to push forward when the universe is giving you signals of like no. They're seeing you in this very surrendered state. And for me, the Hangman, it's like you're willing to see things from a new perspective, right? It's like you hang yourself upside down in order to gain more spiritual perspective, and in order to see the situation from not from your ego. It's like when we're pushing forward sometimes, and the universe is giving us signs that like, hey, like there's a need to like look at this situation. Is this really in your best interest, or are patterns that are not for your highest good driving you to places you don't want to be? And this, you've gone through this process of surrendering to the signs from other people and from like the universe, that there were certain things that you needed to look at, which is, everyone has that, and it's not saying, oh, you had particularly more things than other people. It's that what they're seeing about you is that maybe people go their whole lives without really taking the time to, without stopping and slowing down and looking at what baggage they're carrying with them. And with the Six of Swords, it can tell me that maybe they saw you moving through life in a way where you were still carrying some baggage from the past, like what we were talking about. And it could have been in your shadow, and it's like you couldn't have helped it. Like you couldn't have been different because you were taught to be a certain way. Maybe you're taught to protect yourself. It's something about your relationship with divine masculine healing in order to help you see yourself better. But because you didn't have a good role model potentially, or you weren't shown a productive divine masculine energy, it's like the way you related with it. I'm kind of repeating myself there, but yeah, there's a feeling that they're seeing how, instead of running away from something, it's like they're seeing you progress spiritually. They're seeing how you're looking at the baggage instead of kind of trying to move forward without it. But through doing that, you're even moving more forward than you could have by holding the baggage, is what I'm getting. You have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, and it's like they're seeing how this is oh, and I'm getting this pencil. It's like you're rewriting your path. And I'm also getting a very similar image here. I don't know if you can see the similarity, but there's like this arc here, and there's also an arc right there behind the pencil. It's almost like looks like a protractor, but it's like you are rewriting your narrative, is what this person sees you as. It's like they see how through pausing and surrender, you're becoming more accepting. It's like you're becoming more aware of yourself, and you're able to erase and rewrite your story. And so they're seeing this complete ground up transformation, where it's almost like if you never did that, you'd always continue on a certain path where you wouldn't see your potential. But there's almost this feeling that you're very empowered in rewriting your story, and there's an expansive energy through going to the core and making edits. Almost, it's almost like, okay, maybe I believe this about myself in the past, or I believe this about other people. I'm going to cross that out and rewrite my new belief. And so maybe you're doing scripting. Maybe scripting is something that would help you. That's just a random message. But maybe even writing, there's just this feeling of, or maybe even talking to someone, something like that. It's like there's a feeling of like understanding what beliefs you have and assessing whether or not you want to hold those. And this is more of like the deeper insight to it. But what your person definitely sees is that you've been you've had a capacity to regenerate. And I think it's something that's very impressive for them. They're seeing how maybe the person that they first met, or the way that they first saw you, you were always going to change that. And so there's almost this feeling of like, whoa, like, wow, like this person, it's surprising that they're different, that they're changing, that they have this power within to do this. Like maybe they underestimated it. That's something I'm getting, but it may not be the case either. High Priestess at the back of the deck here. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, and they're seeing how there's some sense of, with the High Priestess, you going inward and accessing you. It's like using your feminine energy and the knowledge you receive, because I think this person has always seen you as um in your feminine energy. Like, I think that this person has observed that, and they've seen you as someone who's wise. Like, they've seen you as someone who's connected spiritually, but they're seeing how you're using your connection to this knowledge to rewrite, to manifest then. And I'm almost getting this energy of like, okay, like the high priestess energy is helpful because it gives us information, but then what do we do with that information? And I feel like that's where the divine masculine is coming in here, because I feel like you've been making movements or actual changes that this person can observe that have become external, where they're seeing this transformation of you potentially putting into action the wisdom that you get. And so it's almost like where you already had this like wisdom that this person saw, it's almost like there was a disconnect between your mind and like the concepts and like the things you would say, or like the things, which they saw as genuine, but they almost felt sometimes like your actions didn't, there was a sense of discord between the two, and they're almost seeing it like oh, what's coming through, it's almost like they're seeing you fine tuning an instrument. I'm seeing that, like, spirit showing me like someone like listening to the tune and like, no, that's kind of off, like how do we want to edit this, like it's like an editing process that you're doing, and you're surrendering to the process is what they're seeing. Yeah. All right, what else, spirit? Spell one person viewing them. How are they viewing them as a person? Yeah, look at that, 5 of Swords in the 6 of Swords. It's like they're seeing the progression. I feel like this is just a confirmation and a little bit of a repeat on what I was kind of getting, is that, like, again, in the past you may have gone in circles, like you may have accidentally like butt heads with certain people and really not understood where they're coming from. And I think the same for them. I think you've run into people, karmic people on your path, where you guys were meant to show each other an imbalance on the other side, right? So what I'm kind of getting is, like, let's say that you were more balanced in your feminine energy, or not balanced, but like you were too, let's do a little math, which I don't want to do ever in my life again, but let's do a balanced person would be 50% masculine, 50% feminine, which that's just like for this example. Let's say that you were operating at like 75% feminine. And so because of that, we could count that as a distorted masculine energy, because for the masculine energy to be healthy, it needs to be at 50%. And so let's say you met people who were opposite to that. So you met people that were like at 75% masculine, 25% feminine, and each person would see a distorted image of the other, because if we're operating at 75% feminine, it could be because a part of us doesn't have the best relationship with our own masculine energy. And so when we don't have a good relationship with our own masculine energy within ourselves, when we view masculine energy in other people, it's extra distorted. It's like, see, that's why I operate in feminine. It's like there's an energy of, see, you're what's wrong. It's going to reaffirm that I should continue being in balance with my feminine, right? Because if you meet someone who's at 75% masculine, they're going to be distorted too, right? So they're going to have distorted feminine energy, and they're going to be operating more in their masculine, and they're probably going to be semi-toxic. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe a part of you operated a bit in toxic feminine energy because of your relationship with masculine, is what I'm trying to say. And then you may have met people that were the reverse, and I feel like that was very much a divine plan in order to destroy any preconceived notions you have of divine masculine, so you can rebalance yourself, right? And so you could see where maybe, hey, you know what? Sometimes I was misinterpreting the situation because my own divine masculine energy wasn't as strong and yours is too strong. And so, does that make sense? So there was a lot of room to get in this combative energy where it's like, we do not see eye to eye. Like, you're wrong, I'm right, but the truth being that each of you could have benefited from taking on a little bit of each other's sauce. You know what I mean? Like, so let's say by being together, it's like there's an opportunity to be like, okay, you know what? Let me compromise. Maybe I do need to incorporate a little bit of more honor, and not honor, but like respect or understanding of the masculine, because it's not a thing of like who's better, who's wrong. It's like, are we balanced? And balance is always the answer. It's like, yes, any energy can become distorted when there's too much of it. And so what I'm trying to say is that there's a feeling that in the past, maybe you didn't get along with this person, or you guys just didn't really see eye to eye, or they saw a lot of you maybe butting heads with certain kinds of people. because there's just this different mentality. And so there's this feeling though that you've been moving forward from that, right? Like there was a wound around that. There was baggage around disagreements with people, you know, and there's this feeling that instead of being like, okay, like you're completely wrong and I'm going to continue in my ways, they saw how instead you decided to reflect and balance yourself. Like you took the lesson and then balanced yourself. And that's what you've been doing so you can harness more energy. And that's something that's very respectable, I want to say, to do that. All right, what else? How's Palindrome's person seeing them? Yeah, the Nine of Pentacles. So they've been seeing you very much, and then the Two of Wands I'm just looking at. They've been seeing you cultivating yourself. It's like there's this feeling of like, okay, they've also seen you overcome patterns of codependency. That may have been something that could be like a distorted sort of feminine energy, and masculine can be in that too. But maybe you fell into codependent relationships in the past, and they're seeing how maybe in the past, like here's just like an example of like a distorted feminine way that I understand, because I feel like I've been through this. Is there's a feeling sometimes, and I can look at my own past and be like, okay, like sometimes I was frustrated at other people for not sacrificing for me, right? Like there's a feeling that when you're in the divine feminine energy and you're in balance in it, you may self-sacrifice, right? You may not protect without the masculine energy of like protecting yourself and looking out for your own interest. You may martyr yourself, right? And so because you're over giving so much to people, you're expecting that other people are going to do that for you, right? And so there's a feeling that you could inappropriately be triggered by other people putting themselves first when that's actually healthy for them, you know? And so these are like hard things to look at, but once you kind of look at it, it feels better because you kind of can see like, okay, like maybe I was a little bit triggered in that situation unfairly. And so there's a feeling that this person, maybe in the past that was an issue, but it's like now you're stepping into this independent energy where you're not relying on other people, because you're having, it's like in the past, maybe you had a hard time looking out for yourself or just being independent in a way. And it's like you've been looking at this and they know that. And so that may be reflecting outward by you becoming more comfortable, becoming your own person, figuring out what you want to make of your own life, becoming more proactive instead of being constantly in the feminine energy where you're receptive or like waiting for someone else to take the lead. I feel like this person seeing you take the lead on your own life and make something of your own life and not waiting for someone to tell you who you are or what to do. You know, it's like you've been growing within your masculine energy here, right? It's like your own, and with Vessel being here, it's like your own blueprint or your own like self foundation, like the way it's like, this is something I would say like is, I don't even know the right word for it, but conditioning, like the way you've been conditioned to view yourself and other people is shifting. And it's like the vessel is almost like reflecting that. So it's like and then the cave is here too. It's like you've gone into your cave, yeah, in the forest. I'm just seeing a lot. To seek the truth. Agape is under there too. Okay. Yeah, so they're seeing you in this independent energy and this empowered energy. And they're seeing how you're coming out of the dark of confusion, you know? And it's like maybe this person saw your shadow more clearly. And then we also have the Page of Cups here. And then the Three of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like this person is maybe seeing you, they're seeing you in a good time period. This person feels like you've reached a time in your life where you're able to celebrate more, where you're able to not have to be so serious. But I feel like it's because you went through this time period where you had to be really serious about your shadow work and self work. And so now they're viewing you as someone who's been able, sorry, there's a fly in front of me. Okay. As a person who's, the way that they see you is someone who's matured a lot, number one, but hasn't lost their inner child. And I feel like this Page of Cups is coming through because this person views you as very creative, very in touch with their inner child. And so I think there's this energy of like, wow, like you may have been that way in the past, but it wasn't, people may have projected onto it that it was like naive or something like that, or that you hadn't like grown up. But there's this energy of them seeing you growing up and becoming more independent and self-assured, but maintaining this inner childlike nature that's very welcoming and one of your biggest lights. Like I want to say this person's very attracted to that and finds it really special how you, even through becoming independent and working on yourself, working on your shadows, you haven't gone dark. I'm hearing like unwritten, like the rest is still unwritten. There's this energy of embracing life and being ready for a new page at any moment. And that's also what the the androgyny card talks about, is like almost how once you rebalance yourself to become open within the masculine and the feminine, there's this reference to being like an unborn baby again. And so they're seeing you in this renewed, fresh seed energy where it's like you've overcome some sort of karma, and it's like now you get to start anew and even more beautiful. Yeah, there's like these rainbows and this feeling of, with rainbows, this is like something that I picked up from Jess Puckett, and something that just always resonates with me now. It's like she always talks about in her readings how it's like when you see a rainbow, especially when it's like talking about difficult topics like shadow work and things like that, the rainbow is this symbol that you won't have to go through the same thing again. And so they're seeing you finishing up karma for good. They're seeing you close cycles, and return to your true nature that I think this person saw in you always, but they may have been pushed away or confused, or like they saw this layer that was not really you, of like triggered energy and like wounding. And it's like they're seeing it. I'm hearing the word, what's it called? Like when you close a wound, cauterize. Like it's like you've cauterized your wound, so it's like it'll heal. And there's a feeling that maybe in the past you ran away from it, but you haven't recently, and because of that, you're on to new beginnings. You're very empowered. I'm even getting like a magician's energy. And I feel like they see you in this light. Yeah, look at that 10 of cups. They're seeing you expanding, and they're seeing you make the necessary changes in your life, so you can be more empowered in creating the future that you want. That's how I see it. Is like you're no longer a slave, or that's kind of intense, but like you're no longer bound to your wounds. And so they're seeing you as very free, and it's really beautiful energy they see you in. All right, let's get some more. Yeah, North Node, South Node. Look at that. It's like that's exactly the energy I'm picking up on. It's like they're seeing how you've had this past that's like they're seeing you move into your North Node. They're seeing you move into new territories and become a new self that you were meant to become. This also has a lot to do with karma. It's like we come into our life already having mastered something, and we're not meant to redo the same thing. You know, it's like we're meant to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone and move forward. Chiron is, yeah, look at that. Literally Chiron. They're seeing you heal your wounds that go deep into your childhood, things like that. Spirit, what else? We want to talk about file number 1. How is the person viewing them? We have Aries. Get one more. Saturn return. Yeah. Again, Saturn return. It's like they feel like you've passed some sort of Saturn return, because Saturn return is also talks about like growing up. It's kind of like a coming of age, like astrological function, where it's like it's about becoming an adult, and it's about becoming responsible, and it's like there's this energy of you doing that so you can be free, and you've reached something like that. But with Aries here, it's like that's relating, in my opinion, to this Ace of Wands energy that they're perceiving you in. They're perceiving you in this very active, not repressed energy, where you're able to just go after the things you want without thinking twice. So yeah, they see you in this very proactive, fiery energy. Okay, so we have a lot coming out. So it says Chiron, which I'm not surprised. Chiron is all about healing the wounds that we came into this life with, and so you can ascend, right? It's like so you can ascend. So this person's seeing you go through a complete Chiron experience. You know, you guys are already familiar with it. This very much backs up what we've been talking about. It's like they're seeing you heal the very wounds that like held you back, that you couldn't have done anything about. Like our Chiron wounds are ones that were like born into this world through our experiences and our conditioning. We have void, of course, and then waxing crescent. Yeah, and so they're seeing you with this void, of course. That's that hanged man energy. It's like they've seen how you've learned to temper yourself. That's another thing, is like maybe in the past you tried to move forward without having kind of grounded yourself in your masculine energy. And so there's almost this energy of trying to manifest without being balanced or something like that. And then maybe you fell down a couple times, and there's this feeling that in order to, they're seeing a shift in the way that you're able to achieve and the way you're able to move forward. Aries can also be quite, what's it called? Like with the Five of Swords here, it's like there, maybe in the past, a part of you would move really quickly, or maybe you had a quick temper or like a quick response system where you maybe got yourself into trouble sometimes. But they're seeing how you've really grounded yourself and tempered yourself is another thing. And you've matured a lot. And there's this feeling of them seeing how through not moving, you maybe took a break. And that's where I'm getting that like winter time period you've been through. Void, of course, means like kind of like the void is what I'm getting. You went into the void and accepted it. And now with this waxing crescent, it's like they're seeing the expansion, right? And so for me, like the moon signs are more just talking about like the way that they're viewing you. They're viewing you on the up and up. They're seeing a progression in you. So they're seeing you as moving forward, making changes, passing tests, things like that. I don't think they see it in that way, by the way. Yeah. And then this one, amum coli, I don't know if that's the way to say it, but this talks about like your roots and the foundation in which you grew up. And it talks about home, like the foundation. That's literally the word I was trying to get when I was saying like your conditioning or your vessel, like the way that you operate, like your blueprint. That's very similar to this concept, the amum coli. And they're seeing how you've been rewriting it. You've been readjusting it to fit your vision for the future. Yeah, so you've been doing some deep stuff, and this person seems to be very aware of it. Let's get a few more. This is a newer deck for me, so I may pull out the guidebook just to see if there's anything I'm missing, but what else for pile number 1? How is their person seeing them? Look at that. Healer, divine feminine. Focus. Yeah, oh my gosh, this is so accurate. Divine masculine, yes. This is such a confirmation of like what I'm getting is like, yeah, it's like you were a healer, but I'm getting like the wounded healer, you know, like the healer that healed other people before trying to heal themselves. And so they were always drained and not quite focused. But there's this feeling of, because you've been working on your divine masculine energy and balancing the two, it's like your focus has gone up. I am going to read focus, even though I could intuit it, but there might just be a specific thing. It says, if you've been feeling scattered, now is the time to hone in on your desires. Time to be direct and very clear with your intentions. Watch your thoughts, because you're literally drawing into your life what you're focused on. Meditate on this card when you want clarity and directness in thought and speech. Yeah. And so there's this feeling of you maybe in the past, like okay, so the divine feminine energy can be very chaotic and unfocused, right? Like that's what we need our masculine energy for, is to actually put structure on things and put direction, right? And so in the past, they saw you as having this unharnessed energy, but this blockage when it came to creating it and actually focusing your energy. And so what they're seeing now is what you've been able, number one, you've been healing yourself with this healer here, but they're also seeing how you've been able to hone in your skills. It's like they're seeing this progression of channeling your energy into the physical, instead of it being kind of like a watery chaos mess where you're triggered and you don't know why, or you don't have control. It's almost like because you feel a little bit out of control, you may be looking for someone else to bring that stability to you, but there's a feeling that you brought it to yourself, and this person sees that. So yeah, that's really beautiful energy that they're seeing you in. Okay, now I want to see what Spirit wants me to go into for your extended reading. What should we do for the extended reading for pile number 1? What would be most interesting and helpful to them? We have the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Four of Swords. Okay. What Spirit wants me to go into for pile number 1 is what actions you can take, giving you guidance on how to move forward and manifest the most fulfilling relationship. So what advice Spirit has for you, whatever they want to tell you about how to move forward and build the harmonious relationship that is going to be extremely emotionally fulfilling for you. So That's what I'm going to go into. I'm going to get you guidance on your love life. Basically, I would say in a general category, it's guidance on your love life, how you can manifest a harmonious partnership. And I want to get information on this person too. I want to see if this person fits into that 10 of cups. Like, I feel like you want to know if the person we're talking about who's viewing you, are they a part of your 10 of cups or are they not a part of your 10 of cups? So that's the first thing we're going to answer. And then we're also going to go into, based on whatever we got there, how can you align for a like soulmate based relationship that's going to bring you a lot of happiness. So that's what we're going to go into in the extended reading. I'll have it linked down below. But if you are leaving me now, thank you so much for watching. Please do hit the like button. It really supports my channel. Leave a comment. I love to see what you guys have to say. I do read all of them. I do try to respond, but I appreciate your guys' comments. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next pick a card reading. And I hope to connect with your energy sometime soon. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Way of the Panda Tarot and the Malachite Crystal, this is going to be your reading where we're looking into how your person is viewing you, what's shifting, a little bit about how they viewed you in the past and how they're viewing you now. I did accidentally just film about 10 minutes of this reading without having my microphone on. So I've already pulled, like, I think how many cards I pulled? I pulled 3 tarot already. So I'm just going to keep them and I'll reveal them. I'm just kind of going to go through what I just went through. But I just wanted to read you the intro so you know what to expect. This is a timeless reading. So whenever you're finding this reading, that is when you're meant to see it. There will be an extended reading where we will be asking Spirit what you most need to know more of, what's most useful to go into further on this topic or any other topic. Yeah, so I pre-pulled these oracles and I'm just going to kind of resume the reading, but fill you in on what I had already said. So we got the Healer, the Sustainer, Mars, and Breath here. Mars energy. So I'm just going to situate these. So I'm seeing, I want to first off say, I'm seeing this duality here within this reading where this person, I'm actually going to switch these. This person maybe in the past, what I've been picking up on is they've seen you as someone who maybe is a bit of an overgiver, someone who very much people may rely on and you don't really ask for much. There's this feeling of you giving a lot and being kind of like the backbone of maybe friend groups or being like a really reliable person or someone that is always going to be there for you emotionally. And so I don't know if this person's been in and out of your life or something like that, but there's a feeling of this person kind of coming to you when they need healing. Maybe this person, I was sensing that they put some sort of energetic burden on you, or they kind of expect, or they may feel entitled sometimes to your healing energy. So they find you to be very healing. I'm getting a very like mother energy. There's a very mothering energy coming from you. But what's kind of interesting is you're becoming more empowered is what I was picking up on. And so I think this person, what I wasn't sure about before I opened the tarot, I wasn't sure if this person was having maybe issues with new boundaries that you're setting, or maybe they're seeing you as more empowered than maybe you were in the past. Like maybe even though you were overgiving and maybe you felt burnt out sometimes, you wouldn't really say anything about it, or you wouldn't put in any boundaries or ask for your needs to be met. But there's a feeling with this Mars and Healer, I'm getting this empowered healer energy come through where, you know, it feels like you're more stepping into an assertive energy and empowered energy. And so they're seeing this, they see you both ways. There's a duality of the way that they're seeing you. So the cards that we pulled, we got the Knight of Wands first, then the King of Swords came out, and the Two of Cups. And so what this confirmed for me is that your person definitely is seeing you in more of your divine masculine energy with the Knight of Wands and the King of Swords. Number one, there's this energy of you becoming more independent, or it's like maybe in the past you weren't as sure of yourself. I'm getting this energy of people maybe keeping you dim or holding you back because they want your energy for themselves, or people maybe took advantage of you not harnessing your loving energy for yourself first. Like you maybe would fill up other people's cups before your own, and maybe some people benefited from that. It could be this person too, but their way that they're seeing you now is like they're seeing you moving in a way that they haven't really seen. It's like you're kind of going after whatever you want, and you're maybe taking courageous action. Like there's a feeling of you speaking up for yourself. It with the King of Swords here, it's like whereas in the past, I'm kind of getting this Eight of Swords energy, or maybe it's like you would kind of take into account what other people's opinions of you were before you were going to take action or say something. But there's a feeling of you within your relationships becoming much more discerning, and you stand on your own 2 feet. Like you're very grounded. And so with the King of Swords here, it's like you are the person who rules over your own mind. It's like you're not easily influenced. And if someone's going to say something, it's going to go through a filter and you're going to see, does this resonate with me? Is this what I believe? If not, I'm going to let you know. Like I'm not going to be bending over backwards. You know, I'm checking people better. It's like there's this energy of you being more assertive or more boundaried, more clear on people in your life with the relationships. But this person feels like relationships are very important to you, and they know you're a very loving person. They know that you are very giving. They know that you're very empathetic, and you are cooperative at heart. But there's a feeling of no longer letting kindness be your weakness, or people that kind of took it that way. There's a feeling of you really seeing what's balanced in relationship and making sure that you're taking action for yourself. With the Mars, you're being assertive. You're not shying away from conflict. Maybe in the past when a conflict came up, like you would take into account other people's needs too much, and you'd maybe just try to get along, or you would sacrifice your own like needs for someone else's, is what I'm getting. And you maybe had an identity of being a healer, or being someone who likes to be needed, or you know what I mean, like gives to people like that. And so this person is someone who has seen that part of you, but is also seeing this other part of you emerging. Where with the breath, it's like I'm getting on the airplane, you put your own face mask on first. There's this energy of you. Yes, you're very nurturing and a very good sustainer, but that's not all you are, and that's not what you're not meant to be. Someone's healer or someone's mother. So there's kind of this feeling coming through where yes, you still have that part of you, but there's this other there's another part of you that's growing, where you're being more discerning, and you're more protective of your own energy, because you know that it's loving. It's like, yeah, there's something about that coming through. So they see you as someone who, I'm hearing, I'd rather be a lover than a fighter, but don't test me. Yeah, you may put this person in their place. Like if you did it, it's just like there's just a feeling that this person maybe was taken aback with this Mars energy and this Knight of Wands. Maybe they were like surprised at you having some sort of like you just may have stood up for yourself, or you may have just been very direct. Like I'm not getting in like a harsh way, but in a way that's like you're healing and with the healer here, it's almost like you're healing a part of yourself that maybe didn't stand up for yourself, you know? Yeah, Eight of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, look at that. Yes. And with the Eight of Cups, like being here, this person is seeing you, and look at the Ace of Swords here too. This person's seeing that you're really not taking any of the BS that you've taken in the past. There's just this no BS energy that's coming over you, where with the Queen of Pentacles, that's that mother, like wife energy. It's like, you know, your wifey, like, you know what you bring to the table. This person is seeing you as respecting yourself, like really growing within your self-respect, and no longer being someone who can be taken advantage of, because what this person's realizing or seeing about you is you'll walk away. And there's a sense of intimidation that this person maybe didn't know that you had that in you, but with these butterflies, there's a transformation symbol coming through. It's like you've been transforming. And it's like maybe in the past there was like a feeling that maybe they sensed that you knew that certain situations were unfulfilling for you, but maybe you stayed around. Like you have a really big heart, like pile number 2, there's a feeling that you're very unconditionally loving towards people. And so maybe you stayed in certain situations for too long that weren't really that fulfilling for you or serving you, but no longer. With the Eight of Cups here, it's like you said goodbye to distinct people in your past, is what I'm getting, or you're in the process of moving away from situations that just were not serving you, that were just kind of draining for you. Maybe you felt a little bit obligated to be in them because you have this mothering energy, you have this like feeling that you want to help people, but there's almost this feeling of like no longer letting people milk it. Like I feel like there are people around you that maybe milked it or gave excuses for why they weren't giving to you 100%, and maybe you like took that in the past. There's a feeling that you're like, nah, like I know who I am, but I'm not going to be taken advantage of for it, with the King of Swords there. We have the Star. Yeah, so this person is seeing you as a very beautiful energy that they're seeing you in. But I think it is coming from a place with this person. It's going to be on a spectrum for all of you guys, but there is a feeling that this person can no longer take from you or just like be sustained by you, you know, like they know that they can't do that. And so with the star here, it's like they've seen you go through some kind of a healing process, and they also see how even though maybe people have taken advantage of you or people have like not given you justice in relationships, there's something about you that's like a diehard lover that this person sees, that they feel like you don't give up on love still, like you're still a romantic, but you're like not a delusional romantic, you know. And it's almost like you've become even more radiant, you've become even more giving, and this is really the energy of like an empowered empath. Really is like what's coming through is it's like this person seeing how instead of letting these situations that weren't fulfilling for you break you down or staying stagnant, you've moved on and empowered yourself, and you're still looking forward. And with there is a feeling that this person views you maybe as moving away from them, or it's like if this person was someone who's under giving to you in the past, it's like they know that your back is turned to them. They know that you still have hope for relationships that are equal, that are giving. This person knows that that you haven't been defeated, that you haven't let what's happened in your life take you down or let you become any less hopeful or loving. It's like this person sees you as the ultimate like loving energy, and it's really about not becoming a martyr. It's like moving from potentially when you maybe dipped into martyrdom into being that unconditionally loving person, where you know that sometimes what's unconditionally loving is to let go of people that aren't, you know, giving you what you deserve, because we realize that when we overgive, we may feel like we're doing something loving, but we're actually enabling the person to continue to undergive and also not heal themselves, right? And so there's this energy of like you being like, wait, why am I doing this? Like, why am I bending over backwards when this is draining for me and this isn't what I want? And there's just this recognition and this clarity with the Ace of Swords here, King of Swords. They see you as gaining new clarity into what you want in relationships, still being hopeful in relationships. I'm getting a message here, like maybe they feel like you're moving on from them. But this is how they're viewing you. They're viewing you as someone who will always continue to search for love and will continue to be a dreamer and a lover. Yeah, and there's this real pride here of like, I'm hearing like kill him with kindness, you know, like there's a really kind energy here where you can lovingly walk away from people. And I get this feeling that it's like, this is kind of what I'm getting. And I think this person feels it too. And they may be confused by it, especially if you moved away from them. Or, I mean, I'm not even trying to limit this. This is how someone perceives you. So this could even be someone who's really loving towards you. I'm not looking at this person's energy. This is just how this person's seeing you, right? So take what resonates for this. Who would know this about you? But oh my gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was going on a direction with something there. They're seeing you with this new clarity, being elevated. I completely forgot where I was going with that. And they see you on a journey to getting what you want. It's like almost this feeling of like they know that you're on to bigger and better things. They know that you're taking the right actions to get to the Nine of Cups. It's like this person sees you working through what was blocking your potential to reach the Nine of Cups and then eventually the Ten of Cups. And yeah, this is what I was getting at. This is what I was saying is that this person, you're the type of person, it feels like, that even the people that you've maybe had to cut off or leave behind, it's like, I feel like you still are loving towards them and I feel like you forgive them. And there's this sense of like sending love to the people that you've had to move away from. And yeah, this is a really beautiful energy. And so this person they feel like you're someone who's fair in their decisions, who is very loving. And this person knows that you were right, or knows that you're right when you make actions, because they know you're coming from a good place, or they know that in their heart. That so if this is someone that you've kind of maybe had to move away from because they weren't really leveling up for you, they know that there's truth in that. They certainly know that. Or if this is someone who's new in your life, they know the way you've been treated in the past. But there is this energy coming through of maybe in the past having accepted less than your worth or what you deserve. So yeah, you know what, maybe for the extended reading, we'll go a little bit more into this person's like feelings for you. just to kind of get more clarity on that. But let's see. I'll decide anyways later. All right, so pile number 2's person, how do they view them? We have waning gibbous. $22. Yeah, this person sees you as very divine. Like, this person just knows you have like such a genuine soul to you. This person sees that very clearly. Even if they can't, that's why they feel so healed by you. They feel like you're very high vibrational, and I feel like this person just comes around you and they feel so much better, which could be draining for you if you feel like this person's a little more low vibe. One more. How's pile number 2's person viewing them? They're viewing with the waning gibbous. It's like there's a feeling that your guys' story is coming to an end, like, or they perceive it that way. They almost feel like you've already reached the height of the understanding you needed from this connection, and it's like you're now moving to a new phase. There's a feeling of you fading from them, and there's this feeling that they see you as very divine as well. Pile number 2's person view them. Just maybe all from this deck, but we'll see if more comes out. That's all. Or that's all I'm going to take from this deck. I just feel like that's... Yeah, we have this mutable energy at the back of the deck too. Yeah, in the past, it's like they saw you in this, like, I'll go with the flow. You know, it's like they feel like you go with the flow, and like that's a really healing thing for people, because it's like you can fill into people's cracks almost. It's like you know how to do that. But you're becoming more fixed is what I want to say. It's like they kind of recognize that. All right, what else, Spirit? This is a newer deck for me, so I may or may not look at the guidebook a little bit. They're really short messages, but sometimes more insights can kind of come through. All right, how does pile number 2's person view them? Good fortune. They see you as like a real light worker. They really see you as someone who just deserves a lot. Like, they know how much you give, and I don't know if you've come into better fortune with the Queen of Pentacles. They may see you also in this like more stable energy. Like, they see you, yeah, they may even be seeing you with the Queen of Pentacles. It's like they feel like you're very grounded, like you have what you need, like they feel like the universe supports you almost. It's kind of this distorted perception I'm getting, though. It's almost like they see you with this star energy as kind of, they definitely see you as this magical person that almost, there's a feeling of like, they almost want to say like it's unfair, but it's definitely not. This person just doesn't maybe see what work you do behind the scenes to be the way that you are. But there's this feeling that you're lucky, or this feeling that like you're one of God's favorites is what I'm hearing. And so this person may have issues with like feeling loved by the universe or feeling super connected, but they just see that you feel connected by the universe and you feel supported. And there's a little bit of jealousy I'm feeling, a little bit. Yeah. For pile number 2, how's the person viewing them? We have message and then nature spirits. Yeah, they see you as very very mother nature energy, like this divine feminine. Like they see you very connected with the spirits and things like that. I'm gonna see what this message is. I've never gotten this one. It says letter, text, email, vision, dream, conversation, music, or some other form of message is coming regarding your current situation. Be open to receiving it. Meditate on this symbol to draw a message from your ancestors and guide you at this time. This person feels like, I'm getting a couple things from that, but there's a feeling with message being here. They feel like you've received messages. Oh, look at this. And the High Priestess is here. You've gained some sort of clarity. You may have sent this person a message, or again, there is this feeling that you may have told them something, or you may have like given them an understanding of where you're at now, is what I'm getting. It's like there's a feeling that you're becoming more clear also in the way that you express yourself. It's like maybe in the past you felt like you couldn't speak up for your needs, but there's a feeling that you are doing that now with message. It's like, and that's a part of your transformation here too. The more butterflies, they definitely see you as transformed, but they definitely see you very, very in touch with the universe, in touch with nature. they feel like you're supported. It's like I'm getting like Snow White. You know how Snow White, all of the like birds come and sing to her. So let me see if there's anything in that one that I want to read. The elementals, fairies, divas, and other nature spirits request your presence. It's time to venture outside, get into nature, recharge your batteries with the trees, the mountain, the desert, the sea. There is magic that awaits you when you commune with nature. So yeah, this person sees you as very divine, very magical, very fairy-like. Someone who and look at this tree in Queen of Pentacles. They see you very earthy, very connected, with like they feel like you would recharge. Maybe you like nature, you like trees or plants or something like that. Animals too. There's just a feeling of you of you loving the earth and the earth loving you and like supporting you. And there's almost this feeling that they have about you where it's like they see you as an optimist. They see you as someone who is so pure. They see you, they recognize you as a very pure person and someone who just wants to love and has had to almost like learn, has almost been forced to learn lessons of like boundaries and separation and things like that for your own good. I am getting starseed energy here with the star. It's like they see you as kind of different and unique also with Aquarius energy. Yeah, that's the main sign I'm seeing here. It doesn't mean it has to be your sign, but there's a feeling that, and I'm getting a lot of earth energy, but just take what resonates. Yeah, there's just a feeling of you. And then we also have blood at the back of the deck here, which is just this feeling that this person is seeing how in the past you may have burnt yourself out again. Like you may have burnt yourself out on being what everyone else needs you to be. And it's like now you're taking actions towards your own fulfillment and you're putting yourself first. And even though you're such a giving and loving person, you're very like connected is what I want to say. You're learning, and then focus is at the back of the deck. It's like you're gaining more focus and clarity around what you want to create, what's best for you. And I'm just getting you as the main word. It's like they're figuring, it's like they know you have a divine mission or something. They just see you as very ethereal. Here, let me fix this. It's a little bit better. Look at that rainbow bridge here too. I just also saw everything you need too soon. And that card talks about being showered with like beautiful energy and like abundance. And maybe this person felt like they weren't able to receive you. Look at that. No one is yours but you. They know you've been learning lessons on taking care of yourself first. What else for pile number 2? The lonely journey of the priestess. Yeah, it's like you've been forced to kind of walk your own path because there's not many people like you. This person sees you as very unique, and maybe you've been forced to like go on your own. You're just so unique. They see you as really unique, and being someone that won't be satisfied also by a regular life. And with the Knight of Wands, like they see you as someone who's taking actions to live a more inspired life and to live a life that's like uniquely yours. Unique is just a word that's really coming through. And even though you're so loving and people want you, so I'm getting this energy of everyone wanting you with them, or like people really wanting that, but it's like, no, like you have your own journey to walk. Yeah, look at this green. Yeah, it's like everywhere you go, it's like this green thumb, this energy of abundance coming with you. So much green. Oh my gosh. And you picked the Malachite as well. It's like you transform things into becoming more beautiful. They feel like you just breathe out like sustenance. Like they just feel like your natural energy is super healing. Beautiful. Yeah, we have puppet here in reverse. Look at that. It's like this person is seeing how, and with this green, it did come out in reverse because what they view, and then alchemy at the back of the deck. What's coming through, and this is just kind of a confirmation of what I've been saying, but it's like you've had to kind of learn where you can put your energy to not be taken advantage of, to not be controlled. You're someone who's not meant to be controlled, but someone who people would like to control because you are very potent. Like you are a potent energy that uplifts people and you help people feel seen, and there's a very spiritual energy to you. You bring growth to anywhere you go. You bring air, space, like you support, and so there's this almost feeling of you having to continue to keep moving almost to protect yourself. It's almost like you have to go your own way, and it's like you run the risk of getting off path if people try to cling on to you too much and like control you. And so I don't know if this person was one of those people that did that, but they're seeing very much that you're meant to be free and you're meant to not have your energy like monopolized. It's like there's a real feeling of people wanting to do that, or yeah, like wanting you for themselves. And so it's like you're a hot commodity is kind of what I'm getting. And it's like it just required you to kind of see that about yourself. I feel like you're definitely someone who would be modest, but maybe you didn't see that as much, or you just had such a big heart that you just wanted to keep giving. It's like you would see people in need, and I feel like you'd always see the light part of people, but a part of you has recently, this is just like from spirit, is like you've been seeing how you need to, how your mission is not here to take on everyone's burden. Your mission is to continue planting seeds. And I feel like you do plant seeds, by the way, pile number 2. I feel like you move along, and I think you make a big impact on the people that interact with you, because I think a lot of people haven't really felt unconditional love or haven't seen how this is embodied. And I feel like you really embody unconditional love really well, which is cool. All right, I'm gonna get one more. How's pile number 2's person viewing them? It says gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. And we have more green here, right? Yeah, it's like there's in happiness more green. I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. And pursuit of happiness, did that come up in this reading or the reading before? But with the 8 of Cups, it's like they see how you've had to like walk away from situations that you just knew weren't right for you. You're a very playful spirit as well with the dolphins here. It's like you can't be contained. You're very intelligent, and you deserve, because of what you bring and like because of the high vibes you deserve whatever you want, you know? And it's almost like by incarnating here, it's like you have to be careful because it's not always clear, you know? It's like you'll think you're like everyone else. And so, but there's a feeling that you guys are very different too. And we have courage here. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So yeah, what I'm getting is that you're someone who's so high vibe, and like you have this potential to go in this very like loving energy, like oh my gosh, I'm just getting like, this is not what I think you're like, but what just came through is like, remember the girl in Mean Girls that comes through is like, I just want to spread hope, and I just love you all so much, and like is in this very loving, and she's like, do you even go here? And she's like, no. But like I'm getting that, but like in the best way, in a really cute way. And but with courage here, it's like, how can you not, like, you may have a fear of disappointing people, or a fear of like not like abandoning people, things like that. But with courage, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. It's like there's a feeling that you're finding that inner spark, and you're finding that inner strength to overcome things that are scary for you, and overcome the need to be accepted when you're meant to be different. It's like you're meant to be very different and carry a very unique flame with you. And I can see maybe how in the past it's like you've stuck in places for too long because it's like you want to be normal or you want to fit in with people, but there's a feeling that you're very different, and there's a need to have the courage to be authentic. And it can be hard to be authentic when you feel like you're different, but I feel like that's something you're learning. That's just kind of coming in anyways. But this person knows that you can't be controlled, knows that you're on your own journey, knows that you're unique, knows that you're special, like you're one of a kind, like this person sees you that way. Yeah, so let's see what Spirit is thinking for the extended reading. What would be most useful for pile number 2, or most interesting for them for the extended reading, Spirit? The 9 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, and then the 4 of Cups here as well. Back of the deck. Okay, I'm getting a message here that I feel like what would be most interesting for the extended reading is actually to go into a little bit more about your purpose, or like what you're meant to kind of create on this earth, or yeah, where you're supposed to move is what I'm getting. And with the 6 of Cups being here, it's like, oh, you know what I'm even getting too, is like a soulmate, or like a soulmate. Okay, here's what I'm getting. Okay, so Spirit's saying, like, how can you balance building up your independence and your abundance? It's like, I feel like that's something you're focused on, or something that you're meant to be steady on. But with the 6 of Cups, there's a feeling of a soulmate coming in for you. With the 4 of Cups, Spirit's almost like, how can you be ready to receive that? So I'm going to go into what is this soulmate? Who is this soulmate? What purpose are they meant to um, play in your life? Like, who's coming into your life? There's a certain soulmate relationship that you're attracting right now. So we're going to go into that. Who's that soulmate? What role are they meant to play in your life? And how can you be open to receive this relationship? And we'll see if anything else comes through about how to balance emotions with pentacles, because there's a feeling that you've been needing to ground yourself and maybe you've had less room for emotions or something, or it's like you don't want to get too caught up in emotions right now, but there's a feeling that it's going to be a time period to open up emotionally with someone that's going to be really good for you. So let's learn about this person, who they are, what they're meant to be in your life. Yeah, because I'm seeing you as very focused on self and independent, but there's a feeling that love is wanting to come in, either a friendship or a serious soulmate. So we're going to look at what that is. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it was interesting for you. If it was, please do hit the like button. It really supports my channel. Leave a comment. I like to see what you guys have to say, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next pick a card reading. And I hope to connect with your energy again sometime soon. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the green fluorite and the Dreamy Moons Tarot, this is going to be your reading where we're looking into how your person is currently viewing you. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you're seeing it is when you are meant to see it. There will be an extended reading where we will be asking Spirit what is most important to continue to look into. But for now, we will be focusing on how your person is viewing you. So I pre-pulled some oracle cards. I'm ready to get into those. So we got the Offering, the Pilgrim. Both these are in reverse. Darkening, and the Sap of the Moon plant. So immediately what's coming through is a feeling of your person knowing that you're going through a transition currently. So there's a feeling here with the Pilgrim in reverse that in the Offering, that there's a feeling here that you have had to sacrifice maybe a way of living, or you've had to settle in somewhere is what I'm getting. So maybe in the past you were someone, or not in the past, but maybe your preferred state of being with the Pilgrim card is maybe you have found that a lot of the way that you've learned about yourself spiritually is through being more extroverted, or not necessarily extroverted, but you maybe have been the type to it doesn't even have to be that you've been this type, but there's a feeling here that even if you weren't this type, maybe you were, maybe you weren't, that's not a necessary factor for this, but there's a feeling that your person is seeing you very much in a winter time period, and that you very much had to pull back. There's a feeling here of maybe having been going on your path, and then because of your spiritual like destiny is what I want to say, or your spiritual path, it's almost like the direction you were going in, you could no longer go into. And it's almost like you had to make a sacrifice for a short time period so you could go very deep within yourself. And so I'm kind of getting that maybe you gave up something that brought you comfort. I'm getting this feeling of there was something you were doing that was in your comfort zone. And there's a feeling of this person seeing that you've had to take a pause in life and reflect very deeply. So there's a feeling of, instead of being in your comfort zone and operating in a self that you're very familiar with, there's a feeling that you've had to pause and surrender whatever routine that was. It could have been a relationship, it could have been a job or something like that, but there's a feeling you had to surrender something in order to get in touch with yourself and to pause. There's a feeling of you being in this pause energy. So this person's currently viewing you almost submerged in like What I'm seeing is almost like, this is really weird, but I'm seeing it as, when people freeze themselves to go into another, to live longer so they can travel into the future. There's almost a feeling here of you having to pause and freeze yourself, but not like lose, but to go into the subconscious. So the darkening and the sap of the moon planet talk a lot about dreams and subconscious and becoming more in touch with them. And so it's almost like you can't really get super in touch with your subconscious if you're living a really busy lifestyle, for example. So there's a feeling you had to slow down recently. So they're viewing you in this state of having sacrificed maybe, um, I don't know, like maybe you're in a hermit mode or you've had to pull back in some kind of way. We'll get more specifics though. The tarot. All right, Spirit, how is pile number 3's person viewing them? They may not have that much access to you right now. They may have felt like you've kind of fallen off the face of the earth a little bit. Yeah, there's a feeling that they don't really know what's going on, but they sense an intensity and a wisdom to it. How's pile number 3's person viewing them? The 9 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Wow. Okay, yeah. And so what's really interesting too is that, and then the 7 of Pentacles, just at this pause moment at the back of the deck. What it says here with this darkening card, it talks about how it can be that we're forced into these states of um, like dark nights of the soul and time periods where we're kind of forced into surrendering. And um, it's almost like when we have to give up a summer time period in our life or a spring time period. It's like we're all very comfortable, I would say, in the season of summer, for example. It's like that's when you're feeling the most confident and the most in touch with people and the most social and extroverted. There's almost a feeling that you've been ripped away from a phase in your life where you felt more confident. And this person sees you as having taken some significant blows and having been through a lot. So this person's seeing that maybe it's taken a toll on you. So it's almost like this person sees that you've been through certain things that have been really spiritually testing for you. And you may have even experienced a really difficult ending with certain people or a group, a job, a relationship. It's like this person sees that, and they see how it's almost like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And this is like, take this lightly, but what a spirit is showing me right now is like, you know how Voldemort Voldemort, when he expends a lot of energy or he takes like a I'm hearing like a whooping, or like in the, what movie is it, the fifth movie, or the fifth movie, I'm pretty sure, at the end where it's like there's like a battle. No, so in the fourth movie, you know how there's that showdown between Harry Potter and Voldemort, and it's like he's this, even though Voldemort's evil, we're not saying that. It's more like we're more talking about like the perseverance and the um power it takes to maintain your survival almost, or maintain your yourself what through difficult conditions. And so there's a feeling of you almost being in that state where it's like, and everyone's like convinced that Voldemort's gone, right? Like everyone thinks in the universe that Voldemort, and Harry's like, no, he exists, and no one believes him because there's this feeling of them being in the darkness. And so it's almost like this person feels like that about you. And so it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like maybe you were prominent, like you were very prominent, and maybe seen as popular or powerful, or it's like you were prominent to this person, or they saw you being prominent in your life, like socially, things like that. And then it's almost like you've taken a fall, but this person is like Harry, who knows that you're reviving. But it's not comparing you to Voldemort. It's just that archetype where it's like he will survive. He is surviving, and it's like that with you. And it's like it's almost like in order to transform. Yeah, we have the Page of Wands here. In order to start a new path, this person is seeing how you're regenerating. There's a sense of death, like the card death, and in the 8th house and Scorpio energy here, where there's a feeling of you having had to face really difficult parts of yourself in order to start a new path. And so this person is seeing that about you, it seems to be aware of like what you've been through. They're seeing you as this. The Nine of Wands is a spiritual warrior card, the person that's been through a lot but they're still standing. Well, in this one they're laying down, but look again, the Page of Wands is here. It's like there's two women holding the stick too, and so there's this feeling of you, although this woman's laying on the ground with the crystals in her, which is actually kind of interesting, but typically be swords, the sun is rising. You know, there's a feeling that the sun is rising, you just can't see it right now. And so there's this feeling of anticipation. There's almost a feeling that this person's anticipating your return. They know you're gonna rise. Sorry for the dramatic like wording on this, but that's what I'm getting. Two of Cups and Three of Cups. Yeah, okay, so again, there's a lot coming through, and then there's the star at the back of the deck, which I'm not surprised. It's like you're rising. So what's interesting here with the Three of Cups is I keep getting this feeling that this person's associated with maybe a social group, or this person has observed you with your friends, or like knows about that or something, or like knows about some sort of friendships that you've ended, or a community that they may have seen you happy in at one point. I'm seeing this like orange girl all throughout this, right? And there's almost a feeling that, oh, it's really oh my gosh, what's really interesting here, is I just wanted to look at the colors and see if I could get any insights. And it's like this girl has a girl with a red dress and a purple dress here, and then there's a feeling though that by the end you're wearing all three colors. And so there's almost this feeling of you embodying everything, being solo. It's almost like, I don't know if you were betrayed. Maybe this person saw that you were betrayed by people or betrayed by a situation, but this person knows you had a really difficult ending that really took a blow to your sense of self and the way you relate in relationships. Yeah, so this person is seeing you as guarded right now. They're seeing, yeah, I feel like your relationship with this person feels that it's hard to really get a gauge on what's going on with you. You know, it's like they intuitively feel that it's just that feeling of this person was too powerful and too had so much potential that I can't really believe that they're never going to resurface in my life again. Like there's a feeling of that about you where it's like maybe you had to put an end to your social like life, or your usual like ongoings. Like I'm trying to put that into like like maybe you were had a daily routine where you like interacted with a specific group of people. Like this could be at like college or work or something like that. It's like you had a group of people is what I'm getting. But there's a feeling that in order to step on your path, it's like you had to step away, and there was some sense of betrayal here with friends. And so this person knows you've had that, but they know you're healing, that you're in a healing state right now, that you are healing yourself, and that you haven't fallen. It's like this person knows that you have a regenerative property to you. We also have the Seven of Cups here. Yeah, so this person's feeling like you're very mysterious as well. We have the Lovers also coming out. Oh, I think there's a little bit of like water or something. This person feels like there's something unmanifested about you. Like they feel like you're in your winter time period where you're sowing the seeds for something else. And there's almost this feeling of them seeing you being this voyager or this pilgrim, this person who's on a journey. Like this person's really seeing like your journey and seeing you, how relationships have impacted your journey. And it's almost like they've shifted your course. But it feels like it's on purpose, I just want to say. But it's like this person's seeing that you still haven't really picked where you're going. Like there's a sense of, where are you going to pop up next? What are you going to be doing? There's a sense of mystery about you, and there's an enigma about you, is what this person feels. And they feel a sense of, I mean, they see you as a lover. There's something about that with the Two of Cups and the Lovers here. But there's a sense that you're not open to it right now. So you may have had feelings for this person that we're asking about, and they know that. And there's a feeling with the Lovers being here too, of like this person seeing that even through peril and even through difficult energies you've experienced, maybe betrayal, difficult endings, it's like you're someone who's dedicated to a path of following your highest good, following your guides with this angelic presence here, and choosing love, like choosing the higher path. even though there's snakes here in the garden, right? And there's apples and stuff, but it's like they're very focused on staying on the divine path, staying on the path of love and making choices through love. So this person sees that in you, sees this potential, sees this morality, like morals that you have. This person's like aware of your morals. They know you've been knocked down, and they don't know. There's a lot of confusion and curiosity, honestly, as to where you're going or what's going to happen next. Knight of Cups. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's just kind of confirming. And then the star is still at the back of the deck, which I'm not surprised. Yeah, you're regenerating. So it's almost like this person's seen you go through some sort of tower moment where things have fallen apart or you weren't able to continue your life as usual. Like I'm hearing work as usual almost, or something like that. But again, this person sees you as someone who is really aligned with the stars. I'm just like seeing this star above like the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is someone who moves with their heart, who moves with their emotions, who listens to their emotions and their heart. And so they see you as someone who has left a lot behind and has taken some blows, to your heart and to your relationship specifically. But they see you still following your heart. And so that's something that's really interesting about this person. So they feel like there's something manifesting, or there's some sense of anticipation that they feel about you. All right. Let's get some more. I just saw Saturn in second house. So yeah, you may have shifted jobs, or there may have been I don't know, this may have something that had something to do with work or school or something like that. Something to do with responsibilities. Seeing Saturn there, it's almost like you are typically someone who moves with your heart and just kind of follows your heart. But there's a sense that you had to buckle down or something. This person saw you as someone who maybe sometimes was a little bit undirected, or from their perspective, this person may be more logical. So it's like there's a feeling that they're kind of sometimes confused by your reasoning. Like this person, yeah, it's like they know that you have some sort of logic to it, but it doesn't really make sense to them. And so there's almost this curiosity and sense of awe that they feel towards you of why do you make the choices you make? Like this person doesn't quite understand it, but they are intrigued by it. And it's almost like, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with pile number 3. What else for pile number 3? Eighth house. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wrote it down. So I took notes actually on this pile because I was reading these, and I wrote eighth house right here, if you can see. So I'm not surprised to see that. There's a feeling that you've been forced to take a dive into your eighth house. This person seems to know that this person sees you as a very loving person and sees you as, they see your light attributes is what I want to say, but there's also a feeling that they know that you've been facing your dark attributes, and they know that you've had troubles within relationships. Recently in the recent past. And there may be something, with the eighth house too, this talks about authority and how goods are, how money is shared almost. It's like taxes would go under the eighth house. And so there's almost this feeling of and power struggles can also go in the eighth house. And so there's almost this feeling of this person seeing that you've gone through a phase where you've been tested in certain things regarding your eighth house and how you respond to shared resources and your own authority over yourself and your fears, and how your fears can control you, especially when it comes to relationships. And so, there's this feeling that this person knows you've been tested and knows you've been pushed to your limit in a way. And so they see you working through eighth house situations. And this has been a theme on my channel, and it's there's a feeling of the eighth house going into the ninth house, where it's this person's almost anticipating the transition from the eighth house to the ninth house, which is all about Sagittarius and expansion, Jupiter, abundance. And so there's almost a feeling of you expanding, but having to be tested and work through your shadows before you could expand. Before you could really feel sure about the direction you're going in, because there's a feeling that this person sees you as someone who's very much in their feminine energy. If anything, it's someone who maybe has fallen into excess feminine energy where there's maybe sometimes a little bit too much trust in other people or in the universe. And then, so maybe sometimes this person has seen you give your power away. And they've seen this be taken, this, that it's been taken advantage of, or they see how relationships were kind of a sensitive point for you because there's a feeling of you getting lost in them or losing direction in life because of relationships, like relationships becoming so overwhelming to your sense of self almost. And there's this feeling that you're so dedicated to choosing love, but there's also this feeling of like trial by fire, like let's test your methodology and edit it and see if it's really going to hold. And there's a feeling that it didn't necessarily hold, you know, like it's like there was this test that you went through and it's like, and it was all for your growth though. There's a feeling that you couldn't keep going on in the world through this um predominantly feminine energy where it's like you were kind of just trusting where you were going, you're really trusting in your relationships. But then at some point it was like, where are you going? What does your heart really tell you? Like, who are you? What is your focus? What makes you feel grounded and consistent, like that masculine energy? It's like because of a lack of that, there's a feeling that in following your heart, it may have gotten you into trouble sometimes, is what this person sees, is that maybe sometimes an over reliance on that could have been an issue or something that you're working on balancing out. Because this person, it's almost like this energy of them seeing you in this very light energy, but since the darkening came out and all these like deeper energies are coming out, there's a feeling that it's almost like the dark side of feminine energy came out, like, and you've had to process the darker traits of being very feminine in the way you are. So on the bright side, there would be a lot of cooperation and a focus on relationships, right? But on the dark side, there could be codependency, there could be victim mentality, there could be martyrdom, you know. And so there's almost a feeling of you having to be tried in that way. But they see that it's, oh, what I'm hearing is sometimes love knocks you down, that just get back up and you, yeah. So there's something like that about you. It's like they still see you as a lover at heart though. But yeah, 10th house Scorpio, oh my gosh, yeah. Because I was getting that authority issue, right? So the 10th house talks about like authority and how it's a more masculine house where, you know, that you may have wounds around that is kind of what I'm getting. And this person, I don't know, that has something to do with the way they view you, is like, because with the 8th house in Scorpio, it's almost like you may have had trials in your 10th house, right? In order to get you to feel, in order to progress your journey, like instead of being a page of wands, how do you get to queen and king of wands? Like, how do you get to where you know where you're going and you're in this visionary energy and you're focused, right? There's a feeling that there was a test here about authority and how you direct your life. And this person maybe felt in the past that there was sort of a directionless energy with the pilgrim too. It's almost like you keep going. And oh, and with the offering too, there's a that talks about sacrifice. So this person maybe felt that you maybe sacrificed yourself for other people. They may have seen that energy within you. They've seen you as someone who's moved very deeply with their heart, you know. But also they see the flaws in that as well. This person sees your shadow pretty well, but they also see the light in you. They have a pretty balanced view of you. Okay, that was a lot. Yeah, it says Pluto, which is also regarding the 8th house. We have feminine, Chiron, ascendant, 22, and 6. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm going to keep them because they're all very relevant to what we're talking about, but 6 also talks about balance, right? And so the 6 also reminds me of 6 of Pentacles energy. It's like, how do we balance ourselves and how do we, number one, balance our masculine and feminine energies, but also how within our relationships with other people, how do we handle that? And I believe the 6, because the 5th house is Leo, the 6th house, it's not the 6th house here because that's actually a card. So I think it's just the overall concept of 6 coming through, like the numerology, where it's like, it's about balance, right? And so I feel like there's a feeling of, and 22 is here as well. There's a feeling of this person seeing that with the feminine energy coming out, that's kind of what I was talking about, is like, if you kind of move through the world in this maybe more balanced in the feminine or more heavily skewed in the feminine energy, it's like there were wounds created from that, you know, like that can be a wound, or there can be a wound to the masculine energy, right? Like, why isn't it expressing fully? And so they're seeing with this ascendant though, they're seeing you heal this and Phoenix, Phoenix and ascend. They're seeing how facing your wounds and healing yourself is allowing you to ascend these wounds that they've seen. So they are seeing you bring balance to yourself. And they also know that, like, in your pain and like what you've gone through, that it was like there's this energy of knowing that it took strength. This person sees you as a strong person as well. Yeah, we have mutable in Jupiter. It's like this person, again, it's like with this mutable energy, you may have been very mutable, like go with the flow, and like maybe sometimes your own boundaries were like walked over, or you forgave people too easily. There's a feeling of you healing an energy associated with excessive feminine energy and balancing it out with like 22 and 6, like um and how through working through the shadow and processing what you've been through, um it's like this person sees how you haven't thrown away like your mentality with the feminine energy, but you have balanced it. And it's like you've seen where you've had enough pain and experience and like actual experiences of your shadow causing you problems. It's like you've been tested. This person sees that, and they see how it's changed your path and how you're still in process right now. This person very much sees you in process. They also see you as very imaginative, very intuitive, very feminine, very creative. Yeah, they see you that way. It says worry in reverse. I'm learning that worrying doesn't change the outcome. So they may have perceived that in the past. Maybe you had some anxiety that this person knew about. Yeah, balance. Look at that. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So they see that you are balancing yourself out right now. Also, loneliness is coming out too at the bottom of the deck, and there's almost a feeling of you maybe having to isolate yourself or something. Yeah, failure. Look at that. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn, and then blame. Wow, I love this. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So this person sees you as someone who has kind of let go of mechanisms that maybe kept you within your wounds. Like with this Chiron here, it's like this person's seen how you've kind of been transcending, um, I don't know, this anxious energy that doesn't really know where it's going. And you're bringing more balance to your feminine and masculine. And with this failure, there was a sense of failure. It's like maybe this person observed you fail, like, or fall really hard, or the 10 of Swords here. Like something really didn't work out for you. And it could have been friend groups, could have been a job, it could have been something like that. But there's just this feeling that they saw you, I mean, like fall on your ass, but you got back up, right? And with blame. And the way you've done that is through looking at yourself. It's like this person sees you as self-aware. They see that you've been um, accepting responsibility for your own well-being, which is very much a healing antidote to victim mentality, right? It's like you're no longer kind of seeing the people around you as the problem. It's like even though they had problems themselves, it's like this person feels like you have a well-balanced self understanding of your own shadow, and that it not only that you do, but like that they see you as having been analyzing it and going through it. So yeah, they see you very intuitive, very spiritual. This person sees you very as a spiritual person, very compassionate and generous. And on a journey, still learning. They see you as like a student of life almost. What else? Spirit for file number 3's person. How do they see them? Power. Yeah. Magic. Again, so they see you as this very transformation as well at the back of the deck. I'm just going to take that because I feel it. Safe travel as well. They feel like you've I don't know if you moved away or something like that, but anyways, I'm going to say, like, so with this power card, it's like this person's seen like in to do with authority, right? So like how we view authority and our own authority has a lot to do with how we feel responsible for our lives and how we claim or don't claim our power, how we give our power away, or how we embody our power. And so there's a feeling of this person seeing a shift in that, and seeing maybe ways this person saw your shadow, though, like they saw the way that you gave your power away. But there's almost this energy of them seeing how, and they may have kind of come to a conclusion at some point, but there's something like growing within you, kind of like Voldemort. It's like there's rumors of Voldemort returning, right? I'm so sorry to be comparing you to that. It's nothing, you're nothing like Voldemort at all, but Look how much purple's here too. This person sees you as very, very connected with the divine, intuitive, magical. We literally have magic. And so it's like this person sees you kind of witchy, especially with this symbol here, and sees how they may even think you like connect with spirits, or that they see the power of the feminine energy within you. They see this healer energy and how you've been able to go within and transform, right? They've seen that, and they're seeing it. It's almost like they don't see you as a full butterfly yet, but they see you in process, in this transformation process. And they know you have hope too. It's like, and they maybe even have hope about you as well. Um, but there's a feeling here that there's a sense of awe, right? About how they maybe were confused about like how you've done this, or like how you're able to transmute, especially if they view you as someone who gives your power away. They may have thought you continue doing that the rest of your life, like they may have just thought you do that, but there's a sense of you regaining your own power um, through connecting with like your guides and connecting with your deeper self, like your intuitive self, like going into meditation. Or even if you've been feeling disconnected, it's like I feel like you've still been going into your winter mode where you're having to slow down and having to surrender and do self work. It's like that's what you've been doing. I don't, this person, it's not that they really, well, there is a sense, there is an intuition about you, but I don't think they know the inner workings of how you're doing it, because there's a sense of confusion and curiosity too there. So here, this is crooked. Let me fix this. All right, I'm going to get a couple more cards to kind of finish out the reading, and then we'll be asking Spirit what we want to go into for the extended. If you feel like this resonated for you. What else for pile number 3? Yeah, no place like home. They're seeing how you're creating a home within yourself, because there may have been some sort of energy of searching for someone to make a home for you or make you feel comfortable or something. And like there's almost a sense of like giving power away because of that. But they're seeing how you're learning to not be on the go looking for your home. They're seeing how you're planting yourself and you're finding your home within yourself. Yeah, time to go. They've seen you walk away as well from situations that didn't serve you. Or from at the back of the deck, yeah, they've seen wounds of abandonment within you, but they're seeing you empowered. And it's like you're deciding to walk away instead of staying in situations that don't serve you, right? You're feeling at home enough and comfortable enough. You're learning yourself. You're learning to be at home within yourself. And this person sees that. So let's see what we should go into for the extended reading. Here, what is most useful to go into in regards to pile number 3's person? What's most important to know? We have strength. 7 of Pentacles. Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups. And then the 2 Pentacles. Wow, okay. All right, I just paused it really quick because I like to give it a little bit of time to kind of come in to make sure I know exactly what Spirit's saying. But what Spirit wants me to go into for the extended reading, I would say is more of a guidance reading for you guys. Spirit's letting me know that this is a transitionary time period for you. And so it's kind of one of those times I'm getting where you're leaving behind an old way of being, but you haven't quite grounded in the new way of being. And so you're learning to balance out your Queen of Cups energy with your Queen of Wands, like your masculine with your feminine. And so I feel like Spirit is just wanting me to, number one, give you a pat on the back and kind of give you kudos, like a kudos from Spirit reading, or like you're doing a really good job and like you're making the right moves. But I almost want to give you a word of encouragement and in the extended reading, go into what your spirit guides want you to know, any guidance that can help you with where you're at in your journey right now, especially if this is resonating. We're going to just kind of continue and go a little bit deeper into you and have it be a little bit more guidance on how to move forward, anything you're confused about, and help you guys feel a little more confident in the journey that you're going on, because it doesn't feel like it's necessarily an easy one. So that's what I'm going to go into for the extended reading. If that sounds interesting for you, I'll have it linked down below. Underneath the timestamps. So That's where I'm going to leave it for the YouTube reading. Thank you so much for being here. If it did resonate, please do hit the like button. It really supports my channel and I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment. I like to see what you guys have to say about these readings, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next pick a card reading. And I hope to connect with your energy again sometime soon.